Most days, nature follows predictable patterns. But on rare occasions, specific conditions align and create scenes that are difficult to witness. Phenomena that last only seconds and do not happen very often. What you are about to see was captured at precisely those moments. Strong winds and heavy rain struck Mojokerto in East Java. At least 39 homes were damaged as trees and walls gave way under the force of the gusts. Even an Islamic boarding school suffered structural damage. What looks like a duplicated moon is actually a paraselene. Ice crystals in the atmosphere refract the light and create multiple images around the moon. It is a rare phenomenon that only occurs under very specific conditions. Heavy rainfall triggered sudden flooding in Santorini. Water rushed through the volcanic streets, which have limited drainage capacity. Within a short time, several areas were left underwater. Aomori has recorded snow accumulations above historical averages. The constant weight has created structural risks and accidents during snow removal efforts. Even the military was deployed to assist residents. After intense rainfall, a wall collapsed in Brazil. Debris struck parked vehicles almost immediately, while residents reported that the ground had already shown signs of saturation. The earthquake that struck Myanmar and Thailand in May 2025 released an extraordinary amount of energy. It is estimated to have been equivalent to hundreds of atomic bombs, a reminder of the scale a single tectonic event can reach. Heavy rainfall caused flooding along Camino Melipilla in Chile, as water quickly covered the roadway, affecting traffic and nearby homes, while authorities continued monitoring the situation in case of further rain. A powerful gust caught beachgoers off guard at Suarão Beach in Brazil, as the wind suddenly intensified and began lifting umbrellas, tents, and lightweight objects almost instantly. In Cairo, a gas station disappeared when the ground gave way, forming a sinkhole about 15 meters deep in a matter of moments, leaving 2 people injured who were later taken to a nearby hospital.
Oh, we're gonna go up in the attic if we have to, guys. We came quick. Love y'all.
Low temperatures transformed the surroundings of Niagara Falls into a landscape covered in ice and mist, while the steady flow of water continued carving its way through the frozen formations. Off the coast of Florida, rare Asperitas clouds appeared, unusual wave-like formations created by instability in the lower atmosphere, often giving the sky a dramatic and turbulent appearance. Guatemala's Fuego volcano registered a new eruption, sending lava and tall columns of ash several kilometers into the sky, while glowing material descended along its slopes. A massive cloud moved over the coast of Portugal with a shape that resembled a tsunami, although it is actually known as a roll cloud, a phenomenon that forms when colder air pushes warmer air upward in a horizontal motion.
अरे बाप रे क्या चीज है भाई ये फिर आउट ऑफ सिलेबस है टोर्नेडो सेल्फी क्या मालूम क्या है मस्त है ना जो अरे कपड़े तो पहन दे
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh god.
In Kazakhstan, a structure known as an ice volcano formed when underground water reached the surface and froze almost immediately, building up layer upon layer until it rose dozens of meters high. In Turkey, heavy snow accumulation forced a man to climb onto the roof of his home to remove the excess weight, a task that becomes increasingly risky as the layers continue to build. Another volcano in Indonesia erupted, releasing a massive column of ash and pyroclastic flows that moved toward nearby areas. The person who recorded the footage was only able to upload it days later, after the ash damaged his phone. New York City was placed under a flood emergency after the remnants of a tropical system brought intense rainfall within a few hours, overwhelming the urban drainage system. The sea in northern Poland appeared covered in layers of ice, the result of sustained sub-zero temperatures combined with cold winds arriving from the continent. Very strong gusts were recorded in southern Spain, where the wind reached enough intensity to move objects and affect lightweight structures, something that happens when a low-pressure system creates sharp changes in airspeed. The tsunami that struck Japan in 2011 was triggered by a magnitude 9.0 earthquake off the country's coast, one of the most powerful ever recorded, displacing massive volumes of water in a short period of time. In some areas, waves exceeded 10 meters in height and traveled several kilometers inland, overtopping seawalls that had been built for events like this. The force of the impact not only reshaped the coastline, but also slightly shifted the Earth's axis, reflecting the true scale of the energy released. Thousands of families in northern Colombia were left underwater when the Sinkhole River overflowed after days of intense rainfall. A situation that also required regulating water releases from a dam to prevent more serious damage. This close-up shows the eruption of Kīlauea volcano in Hawaii, where lava emerges from the crater at temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Celsius, enough to keep rock in a molten state beneath the Earth's surface. Seeing magma this close changes the scale of the landscape, because beyond the intense glow and steady movement, it is hard not to imagine the heat radiating even from several meters away. After 15 years, the Rafflesia bloomed again in Indonesia, a plant that lives hidden inside another species and appears only for a few days. It has no leaves or visible stem, and its scent of decay attracts the insects that pollinate it, as if it spent years preparing just to reveal itself for a brief moment. In Alaska, the sky appeared to hold 4 suns at the same time, an optical effect caused by sunlight refracting through ice crystals suspended in the cold air. They are not additional stars, but an atmospheric illusion, as if the polar climate briefly decided to multiply the sun. At first glance, it looks like colored snow, but it is actually hydrangea petals covering the ground, while 2 ducks walk across them as if nothing were unusual. There is something quietly charming about the scene, turning an ordinary stroll into something that feels lifted from a storybook, as if nature had laid out a soft carpet just for that walk. In China, the Qiantang River forms nearly perfect lines across its surface, as if the water were following an invisible design. They are actually wave patterns shaped by the tide, yet from a distance it looks as though the boat is moving over a texture that should not exist. In northern India, part of a tunnel under construction gave way after the first monsoon rains, when saturated ground collapsed and blocked the entrance with soil and concrete. It is striking that a structure built to cut through mountains ended up being tested by something as simple as rainfall. Flooding turned the runway into what looked like a shallow lake, where airplanes moved forward, leaving trails across the water like boats. The image feels briefly disorienting, as if the airport had quietly changed its purpose without warning. In a residential complex in Russia, a pipe burst with such pressure that water flooded the basement and parking area, even pushing open a heavy metal door as if it weighed almost nothing. Beyond the flooding itself, it is striking how something usually hidden underground can suddenly release enough force to turn hallways and common spaces into improvised streams. Nature always finds unexpected ways to surprise us, whether through power, precision, or small details that seem almost unreal. If you enjoy discovering these unique moments, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.